Well, March is Women's History Month, and for the next 4 weeks, we will introduce you to some remarkable women in our area. Now, we took your nominations for local women who go above and beyond, and we got a big response. It was tough, but we narrowed it down to 4 finalists, and tonight you'll meet our first nominee. She's a business owner, a volunteer, an advocate, even a pageant queen. And we found out that Elle Harris is truly remarkable. Elle Harris grew up around her dad's heavy machinery, so it's no surprise she ended up in the same line of work. But the path to this point was bumpy.
I faced some really horrific stuff in the workplace as a woman, and I came home one day and my husband looked at me and he said, "How long are you gonna do this just to prove a point?"
Elle says rampant sexism in the industry led to her starting her own company a few years ago, Harris Excavation, and that had bumps as well.
I remember reading that women only get 4% of the funding, and I didn't really realize until years of fighting and then having to get creative on how to grow at the rate I was growing.
And while Ellie's business grows, she has used it as an opportunity to help others.
Eventually, our hope is to be able to do this all year long as for as many women that want to apply through Coffee Creek to do the trades program for equipment operating.
Elle recently bought a piece of land that will eventually be used to train women at the Coffee Creek Correctional Facility on operating heavy machinery.
Nobody really wants to give us an opportunity being felons, when you leave here. So having the people standing behind us and giving this opportunity to us is a complete game changer for us.
Elle has also used her equipment to help clean up after the deadly 2020 wildfires in Oregon. And she formed a group that helped evacuate 800 farm animals in a matter of days.
At the time I had 3 trucks and trailers. Me and my neighbors were all lined up down here, and I was like, call us if you need anything evacuated. And then bunch of my other friends jumped in, and before I know it, we had about 15 trucks and trailers, and my post got shared 4,000 times.
Elle also traveled to Lahaina to help after that wildfire disaster.
We washed dishes at restaurants to people who were feeding people, and we packed backpacks full of school supplies for the kids, and we unloaded shipping containers.
All this while raising a 4- and 6-year-old in Sherwood. Elle says her main goal is making it a better world for them. One reason why she's on the Sherwood Police Foundation.
I'm just trying to do my best to humanize the badge and show people what I get to see from them because it's amazing, and I can't speak to every police department, but I know our police department, these officers are absolutely incredible.
Then there's Ellie's work with ALS Northwest.
They reached out asking if people needed help, and he said that he needed help with yard work. And they put him in touch with Ellie, and she came by.
Jeff Young has been fighting the progressive neurodegenerative disease for 40 years. He's found a new friend in Ellie, who's been coming by to help with yard work. It's personal for Ellie. She lost her stepdad to the disease last year after he was diagnosed just months before.
I went to an event, Ride with ALS, the weekend after he passed. It was just kind of like nowhere else I'd rather be.
Ellie is going to help Jeff with more than just yard work.
We're gonna have to fill it in if we want to make a nice ramp for you to get down right there.
She plans to make his front and backyard wheelchair accessible. Oh, and in addition to all this, Ellie has to occasionally change out of her Carhartts and into more formal wear after she was crowned Mrs. Willamette Valley 2024.
I've always done what I've done, but I didn't know that there was a whole world of women who really pioneer for causes they believe in and things that they care about.
The drug epidemic is one thing that's weighed heavily on Ellie. She's been attending town halls and talking directly with lawmakers about solutions to the drug crisis. Again, she circles back to her kids as the inspiration.
Especially since I had kids and just everything going on, I just feel this overwhelming sense of, I have to try to do what I can to help out. Especially in the community that my kids are growing up in. So if we can just come together, I do think that it makes a difference.
Yeah, Ellie does so much, it's hard to put it in one story. She also volunteers to use her equipment to rescue cats in trees or dig holes to bury farm animals when they pass. Ellie will join host Allie Osborne live on tomorrow's edition of Everyday Northwest at 9 a.m. on Portland CW. And again, we will be bringing you these stories each week this month before we name our Remarkable Women winner at the beginning of April.